Hey guys, welcome back to the Doug and Corey Show.
In this video, we're going to discuss X-Men 97.
Will the next time we see Gambit, he look like death? Stick around. Probably.
Yeah, he did die. So if they show him, he'll
And yeah,
look
spoiler alert ahead.
look kinda
Definitely going to discuss X-Men 97 now. Finally, the whole season one's over.
Yeah.
We've discussed it a few times. Some of our top videos that we've had out there, X-Men related. So that's pretty cool.
Why do people either like or wait, let me say that again. Why do people either really like or hate Morph? What's up with that?
They are dope, right? That's correct.
Yeah, I think someone even said they call us out. We probably said he or something, but we, you got to understand, we watched the original X-Men animated series, and he's definitely portrayed as a guy in that.
Yes.
Look, no
slant on anyone. We're just how we were raised,
judging. Yeah, it's the way we do the speaking.
What we're used to saying.
It's the way we speak the words.
We mean no offense.
Yeah, no offense by any means.
But Morph is an amazing character. Like, clearly, a lot of people were like, "Why do they get these powers like this?" But it's only the physical abilities. Like they can't turn into Professor X and have psychic abilities. Stuff like that. Like,
so I mean, it still gets kind of weird because, like, how does magic turn into her? I don't even know what it's called when she changes to like that more of like a demon form.
Well, I think that was Madeline's influence. No, I thought Madeline Pryor like made the eyes turn green, and then all of a sudden it transformed into the demon version.
No, I mean, he was fighting against her.
Yeah, but Madeline turned him evil, and then I remember because I was editing the last.
Maybe I have to maybe I have to rewatch that episode again. I don't know.
So,
I don't know.
Wouldn't be.
I guess you could argue that he just changed his form to look like that.
True, and then just had the sword.
So yeah, and that's one thing that people are saying. The sword is technically part of him.
And I don't think they have the full strength of these people. Like, even when they were the Hulk, like Jean
was like flinging him around. Yeah.
So
I was like, why does the Hulk need to be thrown around with by Jean?
So yeah, I think sense. When morphs into these people, they're not to have the full abilities, even though it had maybe more powerful.
Yeah.
Not their full strength of the Hulk.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Either way, anyways. So yeah, X-Men 97 season 1 is wrapped up, and how did you like it?
It was excellent.
For sure, it was phenomenal.
It was really well done.
Best X-Men content to date, for sure. Media wise.
I mean, best adaptation from a comic book, right?
Yes,
like,
for sure.
I think there's definitely an argument to be had that the comics are the original, OG, like, the best.
Comics reign supreme. Yeah,
sure.
That's where the best stories are. You get the full stories. Like on these, they literally went through, like, I think I read or heard 14 different Marvel comic book storylines in these 10 episodes.
Wow.
14. That's rushed. I mean, they made it fit well together. Just trying to pick on little minor things, but because obviously they're planning on doing multiple seasons, but maybe when they first initially made this first season, they weren't sure if they were getting a second season yet, so they kind of just crammed in as much as they could.
Yeah, I think we know now we're getting at least 3, right?
For sure, yeah. So I think Bodemeyer's heavily involved as far as in the writing process of season 2, and then season 3 it'll be I don't remember the person's name who's taking over, but they're already a producer.
Well, you mentioned Bo, so we could talk about him a little bit.
Sure.
Obviously, there's a huge push from the fans to get him brought back. No movement from Disney at this point. We really still don't know officially what all went down with him and why Disney fired him. They definitely did it really quick, and it was just sudden out of nowhere.
Right before the show started. It was about to be the first episode came out, and he got fired.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
So we do know there's stuff about him having an OnlyFans like that. We know he did have one. Whether or not that is the reason, it's you could speculate, but
people said he was difficult to work with. But I mean,
that is the other
thing.
He
was clearly he was good at what he did. I mean, sometimes you need people to, if they're really that good at it, they need to be in control. I mean, sometimes you can look at that as being difficult. I mean, I don't know. I obviously wasn't working there, so I don't know for sure. But
yeah. I mean, again,
he got fired either way.
Just rumors, so we have no idea. We have no inside information here. So
just talking.
Yeah. But I've worked with toxic people before, like people that just make the whole environment just not pleasant to be in, and that's how he was. Maybe
I know he didn't
worse.
do everything. There's a whole team of people that make these episodes, but he was the main writer, so that's why he gets a lot of credit for it. just like directors get credit a lot of times.
Well, I don't know for sure, but I would think Feige would be overlooking some of this stuff too. I mean, he obviously had a lot of involvement with X-Men stuff, going back to the Fox X-Men movies.
Producer on the original X-Men
and
movies.
He was the only person pushing to have some comic influence there, because they didn't want comics. I think it was Singer didn't want comics on set at all, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's nice seeing them in their comic accurate suits and stuff, and
even going back to the old school suits, that was cool too.
That was a cool episode.
Yeah.
So it ended pretty crazy. I mean, obviously they're going to second season soon, hopefully. But yeah, want to discuss how it ended, or what do you want to talk about next?
I mean, we could talk about moments we liked. We could talk about the ending. It's up to you.
So
everything was just really good in that show.
It was crazy though. Like, so basically at the end, they split off into two different timelines. They don't know why. Basically, Magneto's what's that thing called? Meteor M. Yeah. So they're deciding that Bastion's trying to destroy it so it can wipe out
basically
humanity.
Pulling an Ultron. He's like gonna slam it into Earth and destroy the Earth essentially.
He said he would be kind or whatever. However the wording he used, just let it wipe everybody out quickly. So it was dropping especially when the U.S. Government shot missiles at it too.
Yeah. So they had a contingency plan in place for
Magneto.
Yeah,
because Magneto was back towards the end, and he was right. What he was saying was right. The way things were handled was awful, and they're gonna kill off the whole planet just to destroy the X-Men, which is sad. But anyway, so basically at the very end, when you think that's gonna happen, they just all of a sudden just disappear, and the two teams of X-Men.
Magneto stopped it.
Oh yeah.
He
was taking it back up.
Yeah, he's taking it back
and then
up.
It disappeared.
And then it vanishes. Almost like a rip in space or something. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But we kind of find out. We don't know for sure, but there was a scene of each of them in their respective times.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a little tiny end credit scene also, which I honestly didn't see initially.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of looking through. I scrolled through the credits. I didn't see anything. I was like, okay, I guess there's nothing. And then I found later on there was. I had to scrub through and try to find it. It was pretty short, but yeah. So it seems like it's definitely something heavily influenced by Apocalypse.
Yep. So they go back. One group goes back in time to
ancient Egypt.
Yeah, and they meet at En Sabanur, which is Apocalypse. It becomes Apocalypse.
Yeah.
So they go back to his origination. I would assume when he's first. He was being chastised and trying to attack and stuff, probably because he's found out to be a mutant. Yeah. He is the first mutant in Marvel lore. So yeah. And then the other group goes forward in time to pretty much when Cable was a child.
Where Cable and Forge went to.
Yeah, so they
got separated, but where Cable ended up at.
Yeah, where they went forward in time and they met Nathan. I was going to say Scott, but Scott's Cyclops. They met Nathan as a child, and so they basically looks like they're going to get a chance to raise their son.
To raise their son, yeah.
I mean, it's in the future, so it's setting up possibly Days of Future Past in season 2.
Yeah.
We'll see, I mean, the audio with Forge's board, it looked like kind of looked like that scene where missing, presumed dead, all these different things.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. There's some people on there that were also listed as off-world.
Yeah.
I think Scarlet Witch, which is interesting. Where is she at?
And Quicksilver, and so I'm assuming Polaris as well, because they had that vision that Magneto had when Charles was in his head, which was pretty intense too. That whole scene. All
his kids. You think he somehow had them leave Earth just in case?
Maybe, I don't know.
Things are going down. You should probably get off the planet.
Showed them, and he saw Rogue, so obviously he still has strong feelings for her, and that played out towards the end where she left to be by his side.
Yeah, we had some cool moments with Charles Xavier and Magnus. Definitely leaning towards potentially getting Onslaught later on.
Didn't happen like we speculated it might.
But we think the seed's been planted, right? So maybe season 2, season 3 villain potentially.
Yeah.
We might start seeing things about him. It wasn't even revealed the Onslaught was really, their consciousness and stuff.
He had mentioned if he takes over his mind, that they could fracture and they both be lost or whatever, which is kind of what happens.
Yeah.
And there's even like a shot from the comic where they become Onslaught, like one of the shots in the show, I'll try to find it, where it's kind of almost identical to that moment. So
definitely hinting that.
Yeah. So that's a possibility for season 2. We're likely getting Days of Future Past storyline in season 2. Obviously, they have multiple stories going on when they do these seasons.
Yeah.
What else do you suspect or hope to see in the next season?
I mean,
obviously more characters.
I hope we have a present day team as well. I mean, there is clearly several people still there, including Magic and Colossus.
AWOL, like Cable, AWOL.
Yeah, there was 1 or 2 there AWOL, and then there were several that were, still on Earth apparently during the
they're
current
gonna have
time
at least
period.
a couple teams.
Yeah, it looks like we have hopefully probably 3 teams, like one in the past, one in the present, and one in the future.
Days of Future Past. That makes sense.
Yeah, so we'll see. Could be pretty exciting. I'm hoping that although getting to see a bunch of cameos through Morph is cool.
Yeah,
I'd like to see some of the actual other X-Men appear. And we haven't got any discussion about Bobby Drake at all. One of the original X-Men.
he's also Omega level too. He's pretty powerful.
It does become Omega level. Yeah, he's him and Beast are like still evolving. Like they're still changing and learning their powers. So although Beast, it's a whole different thing. Beast wants to stop it, which I believe they did implement that in one of the X-Men movies. The Nicholas Hoult one, I think, right? He wanted to reverse his mutation. Yeah. So yeah, there's some pretty crazy stuff. I mean, obviously we lost Gambit. And what the very last scene we get, the end credit scene, it's Apocalypse showing up at Genosha, sifts through the rubble of it, and he picks up
the Queen of Hearts. I believe
Queen of Hearts. Yeah.
It's Gambit's card, and it's kind of burnt and he just says something about death, right? He just says death basically.
So I mean, it's hinting, at Gambit coming back potentially as one of his horsemen.
Yeah. So they're setting up the Apocalypse story for sure. And he has 4 horsemen, multiple in the comics. There's different iterations of the horsemen. But it's very heavily implying that Gambit's going to come back as Death. They kind of showed that with him in the vision to Charles when he looked like a skeleton. Maybe. So he'll be most likely Death. They've already introduced Deathbird. Deathbird, when they showed with the Shi'ar, she's a War at one point, so maybe they'll bring her back to be War for him.
Yeah.
That could bring back some more of the Shi'ar with Charles and to continue some of that storyline as well, I would imagine. And then Pestilence was Psylocke and a few other people in different storylines, and they showed Psylocke, so who knows, maybe.
Yeah, I think Storm was Famine at one point, and Storm's definitely in the show, so
possible.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens. Storm's back and got her powers stronger than ever, So we could see Apocalypse is definitely like the main X-Men baddie. There's a lot of great X-Men villains, but most, the biggest one usually is Apocalypse.
Yeah. Which we kind of talked about that early on, that he probably would be kind of behind the scenes at the root to a lot of this. I mean, he was shown several times in the intro. So not surprised that he did eventually.
He created Sinister, right?
Well, Sinister was like a geneticist from way back from the Victorian age or whatever.
Heavily influenced.
He I think he genetically modified him.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, and then from there he started.
We saw what Sinister and Bastion did this season, so they do some crazy stuff. So he's setting up a lot of this chaos.
Yeah.
So, what else? They're kind of, they've already shown a few X-Men, they obviously X-Men. They've shown a few Avengers, so they're setting up potential storyline of X-Men versus Avengers because they did have Clan Ascani in the future ones, which is Rachel Summers.
Yeah,
that could set up some more Phoenix for her and potentially set up that storyline, even maybe going into season 3.
Yeah, we got some pretty cool little cameos there towards the end. We got Peter and Mary Jane, which I didn't watch the Spider-Man animated series. from
didn't
like
finish
20
it.
years ago or whatever.
Yeah, 94 it came out.
But I think that ends kind of with Peter, getting with Madam Web to try to find Mary Jane, and
it leaves it open. Like, did he find her?
Yeah, apparently he did.
And I think they confirmed, Bo DeMaio confirmed that was MJ. He found her.
Good job, Dakota Johnson. I mean, Madam Web.
And speaking of Madam Web, I read it was number 2 on Netflix, like over 20 million hours or something like that. Have it been viewed on Netflix since it came out?
I'm not surprised. I think probably a lot of people didn't bite the bullet like we did and waited for it to be on streaming services and wanted to see what all the hype was about for how bad it was. And I did hear, I was listening, I don't remember what station it was on XM radio, but I was listening to an XM radio station and the DJ was like, I don't understand. I, waited for it to come out on streaming. I heard so many bad things. I watched it and I don't understand what people are complaining about. I was just like, whoa. Like, did you really watch it? Like,
maybe they're not a big nerd like us and they're just like watching it for the entertainment value. They don't know what's going on.
I guess, but it's
still pretty cheesy in most of the parts.
The fact that they had to like voice over so much stuff in that movie because of the changes they made and just the dialogue was so bad that I really like Dakota Johnson, but her delivery, some of those lines is just awful.
Yeah.
Just so bad.
We're getting a little bit off topic.
Yeah, we are.
But I do hope, I've heard the rumors and hope that Sydney Sweeney is cast as Black Cat in the next Spider-Man movie, because that's rumored of some of the characters that will be in that movie.
Yeah.
I think she'd be much better in that role than she was in Madam
At
Web.
least there wasn't any direct tie-in with Madam Web to the MCU, so...
It definitely is possible.
It's a possibility, yeah. So. It's more likely anyways than if she had been. I mean...
For sure.
So, yeah, that'd be cool. So we got Peter and Mary Jane cameoed there at the end of the season. We got
Black Panther, we got Doctor Strange.
Yeah, we got T'Chaka, Black Panther, sure. Yeah. And not sure if little T'Challa's running around somewhere right now in that show or not. We got to see Iron Man. It's pretty cool.
From the old series as well, the same same costume.
Did we get some more Daredevil? I know we saw him at one point. I think we saw him again.
We saw Daredevil and Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah, we saw Cloak and Dagger, which was really cool. Which, by the way, I don't think not too many people watched it because it was on, what was the network? Freeform? Yeah. That Cloak and Dagger show, I enjoyed it.
I never watched it.
And it kind of touches on a whole different side, like talks about the Roxxon Corporation stuff, which really doesn't get touched on in any of the other shows and movies that I've seen.
They show in Days of Future Past, don't they? Isn't that where they go in one of the times? They go to the Roxxon Core. I don't know. I thought it was in one of the
You might be right. I don't really recall, but
do too much with it, though.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that show was actually enjoyable. We got 2 or 3 seasons, I want to say. I enjoyed it. I liked it.
I'll have to check it out at some point. I'll add it to the list.
Yeah. It's not, in my opinion, up there with the Netflix shows they did, but it's, it was still pretty good.
I still need to and want to watch Legion. I heard how good that show is.
I started it and I was enjoying it, but I got sidetracked for some reason. There's so many things to watch right now. Like, the other one that was also pretty enjoyable was The Runaways. I enjoyed that. That was pretty good.
That one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Tiered down from Cloak and Dagger, in my opinion. So not like Netflix tier, definitely not like Daredevil. That was probably the best, in my opinion.
So hopefully so back to Daredevil slightly a little bit, since we're getting off topic as it is. So they still are going to have 18 episodes, but it's going to be split into 2 9-episode seasons is what I've heard now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they're going to do 2 seasons of Born Again and 2 9-episode seasons.
I'm cool with that.
So still get the 18 episodes.
Sorry.
Essentially, unless they change it. But that's the last thing I heard.
It's interesting because I heard they were basically halfway done filming and then they were like scrapping everything and starting over. And that's when I heard they're
even if they were scrapping it, I'm sure they didn't scrap it. I don't think they got rid. Like, just let's delete this. I'm sure they kept the material till the show comes out.
Someone's got it. Feige's got it somewhere.
For sure. So I'm sure they could go back and redo stuff. They change stuff all the time. Yeah. Anyways. But yeah, X-Men 97. Overall, fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, didn't necessarily end in the happiest of notes.
No, which it doesn't have to.
No, it doesn't.
Leaves me wanting more,
definitely leaves us wanting more.
Everyone's already ready for season 2, and I think they're pretty close to being done with it, and they're on post-production, I read. So hopefully that'll come out maybe end of this year.
That'd be cool.
Christmas time.
I wouldn't expect it that early, but that'd be cool if they did. problem with
early next year.
Animation takes a long time.
But I think they're already mostly done.
No, I know. But if they're going to do a third season, that's not even written yet. Then we're going to get 2 seasons back to back, and then we're not going to have a third season for a long time. So
sure, I think that's what they're trying to do is 2 seasons. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they'll do 2 and 3 together, but I don't know. Whatever.
I think there'll be a longer delay than we're hoping for. I think it'll be at least a year, my opinion.
Sure.
Could be totally wrong, but I think it'll be at least a year, giving them time to get season 3 ready, so we get that the year after that. So we get 3 years in a row of getting that, especially since they're cutting back on how many shows we're getting. I'm not sure if they're counting the animated stuff. I don't know why they wouldn't, though.
Because they do have now Marvel Television and Marvel Animation.
Yeah.
So true. Maybe 2 to 3 shows is just the television part.
Now, whatever happened to these special presentations? We got 2 of those?
We got 2 of those, but I didn't. I heard one of the things they were rumored to do is going to be a special presentation. Dang, I can't remember what it is now. What were some of the things that they were been talking about doing? No Silver Surfer was supposed to be a special presentation. They're going to do that. Maybe Nova. Dang, can't remember.
Armor Wars.
No. I don't know. There was one of the characters. Maybe it was Wonder Man. No, I don't know. It was supposed to be something that was going to be like a special presentation. They still are making Wonder Man, so that's cool. Yeah. So yeah, they got some stuff in the pipeline for sure.
You got a lot of stuff in the pipeline, and now that they're cutting back on how much they release each year, they're gonna have several years of content. So
people are gonna be, if it's good, like it has been, they'll keep chomping at the bit for more.
That's the key. It just needs to be good, and we need to have some continuity, like some follow through on things at some point too. You know, but if it somehow is anywhere near the level of X-Men '97, people will be happy. So
I'm hoping, I'm sure they do listen to the fans at least a little bit and what people like. Now it's back to 100% on Rotten Tomato. It dropped a little bit. And now that the last episode came out, after like over 70 something critic reviews, it was back to 100%.
Wow.
So highest rated Marvel property to date.
Dang, that's
crazy.
it
can't go higher.
I think if there wasn't something so, outrageous that Bo DeMeo did, that I wouldn't be surprised if he does get rehired after a little bit of a time away, after the season's kind of been wrapped up for a while before they release the next one, let things kind of die down a little bit, kind of like they did with James Gunn, bring him back kind of quietly.
Sometime they'll see if season 3 doesn't live up to season 2 or whatever. Maybe they're like, oh wait, time to bring him back.
I don't think they'll wait that long. If they bring him back, I think it's going to happen fairly soon. But that's just my opinion. I have no inside information in this regard. But
just a hope, speculation.
I mean, like you're saying, it's not just him. There's a whole team of people, and it seems like they're all pretty passionate about the X-Men, which is really important. I think to have a good project, they have to really love what they're doing. And
that's what some of the best movies in general are done by people that are fans.
Yeah.
They are really into the material and they want to do it right because that's what they would want to see.
I mean, Deadpool's a great example.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why I would have actually liked to have seen Channing Tatum's Gambit movie. That
hopefully we'll get, if we get a good glimpse of him in this movie like we're supposed to.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll greenlight something for him. I don't know.
We'll see. But I don't know. I guess that's going to wrap it up for the video about X-Men 97.
Yeah. What did you guys think of it? I mean, obviously we loved it. Let us know in the comments what you thought.
All right, guys. Thanks for stopping by and checking out the Doug and Corey Show.
Be sure to like and subscribe and have a marvelous day. You know what assuming does?
It gives us some good content.
What?
Whoa.
Or it doesn't give us content at all.
That has happened. Or half content. We got like video, no audio, right? Didn't I accidentally delete the audio one time? Well, that wasn't me assuming. That was just me being a fool. It's me playing the fool. How about them horsemen, huh? Death, pestilence, famine, and war.
Yep.
I remembered. Good.
Yep.
If I say it out loud, maybe it'll stick in my head a little better.
Welcome back to the Doug and Corey Show. In this video, we're going to discuss. Now you have to say discuss, not mess up.
Discuss.
Discuss.
Dick sucks? What? What'd you say?
I didn't say that. I just said dick sucks.
What? Oh, man. Canceled. Getting canceled.
Dean. Disgusting.
Disgusting. What you just said is disgusting, Doug.
Mm-hmm. It is exactly what I said.
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Doug and Corey Show.
In today's video, we're going to discuss X-Men 97.
Yep. Do it again because I'm not sure if that's how I want to word it, but that might stick around.
And I don't think I want to say we're going to discuss.
Dick suck?
I didn't say that. I think I'm going to say we're going to recap the X-Men 97 series or something like that.
Season. Don't say series.
Well, no, you know everything already. The whole series.
Everything, everywhere, all at once. Hey guys, welcome back to the Doug and Corey Show.
In this video, we're going to discuss X-Men 97.
I said discuss. I know, but you thought you were going to change it. You didn't change it at all.
It wasn't that funny, though.
It was funny to me. It's funny because I was expecting
what just happened?
Something else.
Oh, looks like I'm picking my nose.
Oh, no.
Did it just break? What just happened?
I hope not. All right, so we had some technical difficulties when we were recording and got a lot of outtakes.
Yeah, like I went to rub my nose like this, and the camera froze and looked like my finger was like, I don't remember, it was like.
Hopefully it caught that. So
it was like,
I'll just pull it up.
It was like in there, like something like that. I don't know. Anyway. I swear, I just went like this, like wipe my nose, and then like started digging around in there, and then it froze.
Found some gold.
Found nothing.
Nothing.
That's funny.
Call back. Let's call back.
Your other video.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yukon Cornelius, guys. Look him up. I'm just saying. He's great. Actually, you know what one of the best parts about that Rudolph special is? So, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but they go to the island of Misfit Toys, right?
Yep.
One of the Misfit Toys is a bird that can't fly. He swims. Okay. At the end, Santa finds homes for these toys, right? He goes to deliver them. And the way he delivers them is he's like throwing some of them out of the sleigh while he's flying. One of the ones he throws out is the bird. He throws the bird out thinking the bird's going to fly down to his... No, the bird cannot fly.
This day is here, the most wonderful day of the year. A Jack in the Box with the children to shout.
Wake up! Don't you know that it's time to come out?
Christmas Day is here, the most wonderful day of the year. Tourists galore, scattered on the floor.
How would you like to be a bird that can't fly?
The most wonderful day of the year. Tourists galore, scattered on.
We were like, oh my gosh, what just happened? They just threw the bird out of the sleigh. We looked it up because we were like really disturbed. It was hilarious, but really disturbed. Like, why would they do that? They make a point to say that's the reason he's a Misfit Toys, because he can't fly, he can swim. And apparently some other company finished the project and they didn't know that the fish bird couldn't fly. They thought it was okay to throw this bird out of the sleigh. They didn't realize that his whole like thing that made him different was that he can't fly. Yeah, so that's awesome. Look it up. The end of the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer stop motion special. All right.
Back on track.
Sorry, I got a little sidetracked there, but I love Yukon Cornelius. He's great.